Today I plan on experiencing Rome for 48 hours. I plan to see for myself whether Rome is still worth visiting or if it's just become a tourist-infested place to be avoided at all costs. Visiting everything from the Colosseum to the ancient living quarters of the founder and first emperor of the Roman Empire, and getting a taste of the Italian food. Hi, I'm Vigo, an 18-year-old adventurer. 11 days ago I landed in Barcelona, Spain. The only thing I planned was a return ticket from Naples, Italy 2 weeks later, and an interrail ticket allowing me free train travel in the region. You now join me on one of the last days of my trip, with only 3 days left to explore Italy till I have to catch my flight out of Naples. So far I've been enjoying my time in Barcelona, dipped my toes in the sea at the border town between Spain and France, visited the stunning medieval castle of Carcassonne, the old papal city of Avignon, and dealt with a ton of burnout. I swam in the sea in Nice, where I almost lost my phone to the waves. I went on a day trip through the micro-country of Monaco, and I went hiking between the famous Italian fishing villages of Cinque Terre with 2 strangers from the hostel in the worst possible weather. Yesterday evening I made it to Rome, where I explored the smallest country in the world, the Vatican. Then the Trevi Fountain, St. Angelo, and the Pantheon. But today, let's go explore the rest of Rome. I just woke up at my hostel, then jumped on a metro, and now I'm here.
Alright, this is day 2 in Rome. I'm very close to the Colosseum, but I haven't seen it actually. It's just somewhere behind me. But I was told that when I'm gonna go there, I'll have to come out from the metro station, because that way it's like very surprising. I don't know, I was told by an Italian, so I'm trusting that. Right now I'm actually just on my way to get some lunch. Alright, I got some food, but I had to stand in line for so long and it took a long time, but I hope it's very good. So I got these weird triangled formed things.
The expectations were high. This was described as a traditional must-eat in Rome, and I waited for more than half an hour to get my hands on it.
They were recommended by my sister and her boyfriend, so I hope it's good. This one is with chicken. Yeah, it's good, but I don't know if it was worth the wait. And then I got one with meatballs. I hope it's at least as good as the other one. Yeah, it's good.
As you might have read from my tone of voice, it wasn't living up to the hype for me, but also I was feeling weird about filming myself eating in public, hence the awkward camera angle. That also had an impact on how comfortable I was talking to the camera. I'm really glad I'm not a food blogger. I took a stroll past the Castel Angelo, which looked a bit different in daylight as opposed to yesterday in the dark. I crossed into the country of the Vatican again, while the line was way longer today. It was definitely worth visiting in the evening.
Just had some quick coffee yesterday, do it in Italy as I've learned, and I got a little muffin again. But yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit tired after having been exploring like non-stop for the last 2 weeks. So yeah, I don't know. Alright, I just took the metro and I'm going to see the Spanish Steps now. But yeah, I feel like I've just experienced so much and it feels like I'm almost like full and I can't take in any more experiences right now, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just tired, but it's gonna be a slow day for me today. It's already been, so yeah.
On my way to the Spanish Steps, I got distracted and ended up spending way over an hour just relaxing in the Villa Borghese gardens. It was already about 5 o'clock in the evening, so I enjoyed the sunset at Teresa del Belvedere, from where I could scout the Vatican in the distance.
But yeah, a slow day it definitely is.
To get to the Spanish Steps, I first had to go up some other steps. But then, finally, I found myself in the midst of a crowded, tourist-infested and unpleasant scene. Less La Dolce Vita and more drunk beach club in Ibiza, complete with tourists fighting for the perfect selfie while stomping all over ancient history. And this is even in February during the off-season. If you just cut out the crap music playing and zoom in a bit, I must admit then, it was a great view.
Yeah, I'm at the Spanish Steps now, but there's a lot of people here. But it's very beautiful during this sunset. There's also like tons of police right here.
So I headed to the appropriately named metro station, España.
I am going directly to the Colosseum now though. Alright, I am here at the Colosseum. I'm looking forward to this. Wow. There it is, in all its glory. Pretty cool, pretty cool.
Unfortunately, the Colosseum had been completely sold out today and the gates had now been shut.
Well, I'm gonna see much more of the Colosseum tomorrow as I've booked some tickets for tomorrow. Once again, I have a very, very clear memory from this place from 10 years ago of like this exact staircase, and I was like jumping down these, and I had just bought some notebook and my siblings were like drawing in it just right over here. Yeah, I remember it very, very clearly, and it's 10 years ago now. I was 8. Yeah, Colosseum is such a tall building. It is crazy tall. I wonder how tall it actually is. I'm gonna Google it. Wow, it's 50 meters tall.
The Colosseum was beautiful when illuminated in the night sky, but then something unfortunate happened.
I don't know how, but I've somehow gotten bird poop on my arm. But I am hungry now, so it's time for dinner.
I found a lovely little restaurant that wasn't filled to the brim.
So the normal bruschetta?
Yeah, which
Just this one, yeah.
For starters, I got some bruschettas.
And then the gnocchi.
And then?
The gnocchi.
Gnocchi.
Yeah, gnocchi, yeah.
Then some kind of delicious oven-baked gnocchi. You might say I kinda messed up the ordering.
Yeah.
Yes, and to drink just a Fanta.
What will you drink?
Yeah, Fanta.
Yeah. But it was all good, cause then I had dessert. A brownie with vanilla gelato.
Such a cool building. But yeah, I got some dinner, as you could see. I couldn't resist getting 3 courses, but it was only 23 euros, which is not bad for 3 courses. And the food was good and the service was, yeah, alright. There was not like a huge line, so yeah, that's definitely a plus. All in all, it was pretty good, yeah, and it's almost 8 p.m. and I think I'm just heading back to the hostel now. Yeah, because I have a long day in front of me tomorrow, and yeah, I'll see the rest of Rome tomorrow. So I'm just heading to the underground now, yeah.
And with that, I headed to bed. The next morning, I had breakfast in the basement of the hostel, and I wouldn't say it's the worst breakfast I've had in a hostel.
Alright, I'm on my way to see the Colosseum now. It's about 10 o'clock. Just checked out of the hostel, got some breakfast and stuff. And yeah, I have a time slot reserved for, in about 3 hours for the Colosseum. But I'm gonna go there already because there's a lot of other stuff to see there. I love the undergrounds where you can just pay with your card. It's so much easier just to put your phone on, which I normally do, but I just used the physical card because I was filming. But that's so much easier than buying a ticket and yeah, keeping track of that. Alright, I've made it to the Colosseum, but I'm gonna explore the Roman Forum first.
Apparently this was not the official entrance to the forum, so back towards the Colosseum, and after standing in line for about 15 minutes I guess, I got into the Roman Forum.
Alright, I made it into the forum.
And now you might be wondering, what the heck is a Roman Forum? And to be honest, I don't even really know.
But this is such an impressive place. I have done a tiny bit of research and it's quite impressive. But yeah.
After a quick read on the Wikipedia article, I learned that the Roman Forum is a more than 2700-year-old marketplace, home to and surrounded by some of the ancient city's oldest and most important structures, one of which, as you've already seen, is the Colosseum. For centuries, this was the heart of Rome and the center of day-to-day life in the city. It was where elections, public speeches and criminal trials were held. It's also where Julius Caesar lived, and it's been quoted as the most celebrated meeting place in the world and in all history. The Roman Forum is directly connected to the Palatine Hill, which is where Julius Caesar's adopted son Augustus lived. If you don't know who Augustus is, then he's literally the guy who founded the Roman Empire. And I'm about to pay him a visit in his residence. Only problem is, I think I'm 2000 years late to the invitation.
It's so impressive. There's so many ruins. The area is just so large. It's just impressive to think about how much has been here. I think I'm going on a guided tour now of Augustus's house, because you have to go with a guide.
The Pavilion was characterized by more elaborate decorative design.
The tour lasted for about half an hour. It was unbelievable how much of his house was still intact. These frescoes are about 2000 years old. I didn't even really know paintings lasted that long.
Painted on the far wall, resting on a podium.
The tour was very immersive, in a darkened atmosphere with lights being projected onto different surfaces, while a voice from the speakers told about the history and architecture of this ancient building. I still had some time before my allotted time slot to enter the Colosseum, so I wandered around the Palatine Hill and the Roman Forum for a bit.
This place is awesome.
Alright, it was now time to go see what this Colosseum thing was all about.
There's so many tourists down there. Just can't wait to get down there.
The Colosseum doesn't look that big on its own, but seeing all these people standing next to it puts its scale into perspective. For reference, you would need more than 25 of me stacked on top of each other to reach the top, and it's the equivalent of a 15-story building. I went through security and found myself standing in this 2000-year-old landmark, one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Yeah, so as you can see, I made it into the Colosseum and I've got this green sticker, which means I have full access, which was only 4 euros for me because I'm between 18 and 25. Then it's only 4 euros for full access to the Colosseum, and the Forum, which I was in before, was also included in that. So it's very, very cheap if you're under 25.
Normally, this ticket would be 24 euros.
So that's quite amazing.
I reached some of the upper levels. From here, I could see directly into the Forum, but also the giant lion that I had just gone through myself. A fun fact is that they used to be able to flood the Colosseum so that naval battles could be held here. Just imagine those huge ships sailing around in here.
It's just such an incredible building. It's difficult to take it in. Also just the fact that someone stood in the exact same place as me and fought for their life like thousands of years ago. It's kind of incredible.
Yeah, so where I'm standing right now used to be the arena where people used to fight to the death.
But I'm also just trying to take it all in because my 2 weeks of traveling is almost up. I fly home in 2 days, early in the morning. Wow. Look at how big those stones in the top are. Like that's on the top of the whole building, like 50 meters up in the air. Those stones are giant.
The Colosseum used to house about 80,000 spectators, all of whom could quickly leave through 80 different entrances, one of which I myself was about to exit through.
Alright, I am out again. Spent way too long in there, or at least way longer than I intended to. But I'm heading to Naples now.
But first, I had to jump on a metro back towards my hostel.
La prossima è...
It was a bit crammed on the metro, but we made it.
Alright, I have just left the hostel and I'm on my way to the train station to get to Naples. I just got a seat reservation, now I just gotta make it down to the platform.
I got on the train and enjoyed the views of the Italian countryside passing by, whilst I slowly travelled south through the country. They say that the further south you go in Italy, the cheaper and slower the pace of life becomes, but people are also, in general, worse financially set there. Poverty and crime rates are a lot higher. And over the next few days, I was about to experience just that, starting from the moment I stepped off the train.
And I just found out yesterday that I am completely out of money and out of cell phone data. So this is kind of like a challenge video with like no money for 24 hours, but it's actually real, so yeah.